Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. So, today we are going to start with the core modules of the left portions, which are like your path module and URL module. Okay. So, we are going to start within a minute. Just give me a second. Let me share my screen and let me open that W3 school website. Okay. Then we will continue. Just a minute. Okay, so I am sharing my screen and we will first discuss that what we have covered in the yesterday session and then I will continue, right? So basically we have covered about the HTTP module. First of all, we have seen that how to create a server. Then after that, using FS module like file system module, what we have done, we have performed CRUD operations like first of all, how to read a file, how to read it synchronously, how to read it asynchronously. After that, we have seen how to create a file with write file function, right? Then appending some content to the file. What is file handler? We have also used that. So these things we have done, correct? Now today we are going to start from, then after that we have seen the deletion operations, like how to delete a single file using unlink method, how to delete multiple files, then how to delete a directory. For files we use unlink method to delete it. For directory we use basically our fs.rm, means remove that directory, and if it is recursively true, that means that whatever content inside that directory was present, that will be deleted also. Okay, then we have also seen that emptying a directory without deleting. So today we are going to start with renaming and moving files. Okay, so first of all, we are going to see that how we can rename a particular file. Okay, and if we cover this, then this file system will be done. So after this, we will move to the path module. Okay, so just a same simple code is there, which we have to make sure that we can execute it. Let's try to understand this bit of code first. Okay, yeah, so let's start. Const fs equals to require fs means they are importing the file system module. Now through this async and await, through async keyword they are making the function asynchronous, and through await they are making sure that that task will be completed first, then the command will pass to the other things. Okay, now function real name file is a function. Const old path mean the old name of your file is old name.txt, and new name which you want to rename means that you want to change the name, right? So after renaming, what the text you want to be written as the file name, that you have to enter here. Okay, now await fs.access. We have already seen that this access method is basically used to find the path that this file uh, basically is there or not, then only you can rename it, right? So to make sure that we are just searching for it. Okay, if that will be done, then we will move to try and catch block. Now see what is happening here. fs.access new path. Now again they are asking for access, like asking for access method. Why? Because see, if you want to rename a file, then you have to keep one thing in mind, that that file will not be present already, right? Then only you can rename it. Suppose if there is a file text1.txt and I want to rename it to text2.txt, then I have to make sure that is text2.txt is already in my folder or not. Then only I can assign that name to the rename file, right? So for that, we are using here this access method with the new file name. Okay. Now console.log, if there will be any access regarding that part, then you have to provide that destination file already exists. Means the name you want to add to your file already exists. So just make sure that you can correct that. And then there will, in case of any error, you will get the error part. Now, await. Now for renaming, these bit of code is used to check that if the file which you are creating exists, or if the file which you want to rename, that rename file name should not be there, then only you can rename it. Okay. Now let's see how to rename. So this is the code written for renaming the file. Simple fs.rename. You can see they are using a building function which is rename, and what it is taking the old path and the new path. And what does these two variables store? The old path is storing your old name of your file, right? And the new path is basically storing your new name of the file. Okay, quite good. Now, if that will be done successfully, then you have to console that file renamed successfully. In case there will be an error, then you have to provide error dot code equals to enoent. I have already told you that this enoent stands for error no entry, means there is no such file which you want to rename. So source file does not exist, that you have to console, and at last you have to call the function, then only this part will be executed, right? So we will first try to like execute this problem on our VS Code. Then I will elaborate the explanation one more time, and then it will be clear to you. Okay, so where we have to move? We have to move to index.js. Control A, Control V. Now I am changing the old name of the file as vanch.txt, and I want the new name as bhuvit.txt. No problem, we can do it. Okay, now let's try to execute it. So for executing it, first we have to move to the main folder, which is Node.js. After that, we have to run the command node space index.js, right? Okay, if I press enter, so they are saying source file does not exist. So, okay, because as we are changing some name, so that should be there, right? So the name of vanch.txt must be there, then only we can rename it. So okay, now it is done. Now again I am restarting it, so you can say see file name changed successfully. So let's see, instead of vanch am I getting bhuvit? So yeah, here I am getting bhuvit, and you can see that vanch is not there now. And that is the task we have to do through this program. Okay, is it clear? I hope it is clear to you. Now, like this is more about file system module, that these basic things you have to make sure that you have an idea about them, like how to create a file, how to read that file, how to write in those files, okay, how to delete them, how to rename that. Now we are going to move forward to this path module. Okay, here we will see that how you can join a path. It is quite simple also. We'll make sure that we will complete it within 10 to 15 minutes, because nothing is much there. Okay, let's try to understand that what they are saying. What is path module? Path module is a built-in Node.js module that provides tools for handling and transforming file path across different operating system. Okay, since Windows uses backslashes and system like Linux and macOS use forward slashes, the path modules helps write cross-platform code that work correctly on the system. Basically, they are saying that if we talk about window, then the path separation is basically done through backslash. And if we talk about the systems like Linux and Mac OS, then there is a separation for through forward slashes. We will come to know that how these things work when we are going to console the path in our window terminal. Then you can see the difference that we will get backslashes over there instead of forward slash. But no worries. Okay. So how to use it? So if you have to use a path module, you have to first of all import it. How to import it in CommonJS? Const path equals to require path. Okay, now here we are doing the destructuring, that out of my path modules, I want these functions. First one is join, second one is resolve, and third one is base name. Quite easy, no problem. Okay, let's understand with the path.base name. First function we are have to see over here is base name. So as the name is suggesting that it will provide you the base name. And what is the base name? Return the last portion of a path. So whatever will be the last portion of a path will be that you will get as the output for this path.base name function. It is quite simple. See, every module is simple. Just you have to understand that what a particular, you can say, function is doing. Okay, let's try to execute this code. We will make sure that we will dry run it once, then we will move to our VS Code, and then we'll match our outputs with it. Just make sure that base name will provide the last path. Okay, let's try. So here they are importing it, no issues. Const file name equals to path.base name. Okay, so on this particular path, you are adding the base name function. So what it will do, according to the definition, they are saying that it will provide you the last path. Okay, so what is the last path name? File.txt. So console.log file name, they are consoling it. So what should be the output now? So it will storing the output of this. Okay, and the output for base name function is the last thing in your path. Okay, so for this console, the output should be file.txt. Just make sure that you are writing it at your end, and then we will execute the code and match with the answer. Now just a second, like 30 seconds to you. Just make sure that you can give me the answer for it. There is a change. Okay, there is a change. Let me tell you that what is happening, that in base name function, if suppose this is a path, okay, in this path, what is basically the last term? It is file.txt. So you will say, sir, for the answer for this should be file.txt. But wait, there is a change. You can see they have uses a comma separator and added something like this, which is .txt. So basically, if in base name function, if you are going to provide a extension after the comma, then that means that you have to remove that extension from the final output. What does it mean? That as for this base name function, for this particular path, the output is file.txt. But as you are giving it after the separator also, so I have to remove .txt from this file.txt output. So what is the output now? Only file, and that file will come over here. So let's try to execute it, then we will match our outputs with it. Okay. So how to execute it? We have to move to our index.js. We have to change the code. Okay, sorry. Control A, or wait, Control A, Control. Yeah. If I clear the terminal first, okay. And if now I just execute this file, can you see for first console what I am getting? File.txt. Quite easy. Whatever the base name is there, we will get that. Then there is another version of using base name. If you don't want the extension, then just use a comma separator, and after that write the extension name. So you will only get the file name or the path without extension. So here we are getting file. If I suppose I change the code a bit, then let me know the answer. Okay, and if I add abc.png, okay, and here I will do one more thing, that will add email.jpg and okay. Now let me know that what will be the output for both of these things. If you are able to give the correct output for them, then that means the concept is clear to you. Just make sure that what this base name function will do. This will provide you the last part of the path. Okay, so what is the last part of the path? abc.png. So option 1 answer should be abc.png. Now let's talk about the file name without extension variable. What it is going to store? Path.base name. So what is the base name? If you are not able to see this portion, just find out the path name first, base name first. So it is image.png. And as I have already told you that after the separator, whatever extension will be there, you have to remove it from the base name. So you have to remove .png from image.png. And what will be the answer then? Only img, image. So let's try to execute, and yes, both the answer are correct. So if you are also thinking same like me, then great guys, you are doing good. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So see, this is how simple path module is. Now they are saying that there is a directory name variable and file name variable which is predefined in your modules. And if you are going to write them like this, they will provide you the same output. Let me tell you how they work. In Node.js, directory name and file name are special variable available in common JS modules that provides the directory name and file name of current module. Means whatever your current module directory or file name is, these variables are going to let us know about those. Okay, so here is basic example for it. Let's try to dry run it first. Just make sure that you have a copy and pen. Just note down the outputs and then we will match them. Okay, const path equals to require path, no problem. Console.log directory name as directory name. So we that means that it should provide us the directory name, means inside which folder I am executing this file. Okay, so that path it is going to provide me. Then inside which file I am executing it, because it is using this file name variable. Okay, so what is the file name for us? It is index.js. So something like this we should get an output. Now there is these two lines, three lines also. Let's also try to understand it. Path.join. So basically, if you are unknown of join method, then the name is suggesting it will join something. Okay. Path.join. How to join? Join this directory name with config and app config.json. But whenever this join method basically join the path, so for joining the path, they use forward slashes, okay? And in window, they are going to come inside backslashes, right? So what should happen? That we will get a proper directory name, like I am in C drive in Vunch folder, okay? And in Vunch folder, there is Node.js, then this config, and then this app config.json. And the same thing basically you are consoling over here, because this is going to store your whole path. Now let's see what we will get from here. Console.log directory using path.directory name. Okay. Path.directory name where the file is there, means give me the directory where index.js is present, because file name is currently representing to that file where your node module has been imported. Okay, so let's try to understand it after dry running it, and I hope you have written down the dry run outputs so that you can match it at your end. So first of all, what we are getting? We are getting the directory name. Okay, let's try to see. In C drive users bunch Node.js folder, we have Node.js again. Like in this big Node.js, we have the small Node.js. Okay, so okay, this is the directory where my code is defined. So this is correct. Then what is the file name? The file name is index.js. So you can see for file name also we are getting a whole path from starting to end. Okay, absolute path like C drive users, and then there is a bunch folder inside this those two folders, and at last your file name. Then for it, what we have to do? We have to join these things, right? So config file is, you can see here file name is coming, then configuring path. So configuring path is directory name, means what is the directory name? This is the directory name output. Okay, add config to that and add app config.json to that. So you can compare with the output that they are joining it after them. Now one thing is noticeable, that we are getting backslashes over there. Okay, so that was one thing that Windows basically provide you backslashes for all the path operation, but when you move to Linux or Mac OS platform, these are converted to forward slashes. No problem in that. Okay, now what will be the output for it? That you have to give the directory name where this file has been provided. So where is the file? It is inside this Node.js. So just give them the starting point path to end point from C drive to this Node.js. So here you can see from C drive it is starting and up to Node.js where this file has been initialized. That path you have to provide them. Clear? See how simple it is? Just you have to make sure that you have that like you can just try and execute it. Okay. Now path dot extension name. Return the extension of a path. Another simple function x name. The name is suggesting it will provide us the extension of a particular file. So let's try to understand it. Last occurrence of the dot character to the end of string. See, return the extension of path from the last occurrence of the dot character to the end of the string. Means from the last character, you have to start from the rightmost side, and as soon as you got a dot operator, whatever is written after that is basically your extension. Okay, so let's try to dry run these things. So first of all, path dot extension name. So what is the extension for file.txt? So according to this, we have to start from the rightmost side. And as we move to dot, first dot, we have to provide the output as txt. So the extension is .txt for this. Okay. So the first output will be .txt as the extension. For this, what will be the extension? .html will be the extension. Now this might be confusing for you that I have already told that we have to move from the rightmost side, right? So basically someone of you can provide me coffee as the output, but that is incorrect because from moving to the from the right side, what should happen? Right to left. If we are moving from right to left, then what should happen? That this dot will be encountered first. So as soon as we got a dot operator, so that is our output. So the output for this particular extension will be dot empty. Okay. Then here is another thing that whenever a dot will be counted from right to left, we have to provide that. So there is a dot, then there is a space. So you can see we are get dot spaces there, so I will get a dot over only there. Then here you can see the dot operator is not present, so there is no extension for it, right? And for this console.log part, what we have to do, as soon as we move from right to left, this dot will be there, and whatever is written outside the dot is our extension. So dot index is the output. So I hope that you are clear with it. Just make sure that you have to move from right to left. And as soon as you got a dot operator, from that, including that operator, whatever is written after that is basically your extension. Clear? Quite simple. There is no rocket science in it. Oh, wait, what I have done? Yeah. Node space index.js. Yeah. So first of all, let's try to understand that are we getting, yeah, for this .txt is the extension, correct? For this .html is there. As we move from right to left, we are getting a dot, and after that this is the answer. From right to left we are moving, and as soon as we were moving from right to left, you can see .md is coming first. So that's why this is the output, not dot coffee. Okay. So after in the next path we are getting a empty space, like a space is there and then the dot. So I am getting the dot part only. Now after that this is there, like what is it? There are no dot operator present. And one more thing that basically this is not a valid file name, right? Why it is not a valid file name? Because if we move from right to left, that is correct. We are getting a dot operator and something is also written inside it. But but the thing is that this is not a valid name of a file. Okay, so for extracting the extension, the file name must be also valid. So this is how we can do it. Okay. Now join, we have already seen that it will join the path accordingly. So no need to do this. Now there is one thing that path.parse. Let's try to understand this, then we are good to cover this path module. Okay, nothing much to do over here. Quite basic, just we have to make sure we come to know about this. So parse, I have already told you that parse function basically break down into components. So this path will be breakdown in components, like we will get slash users, slash docs, and slash file.txt differently. Okay, so you have parsed it in components. Now let's try to console all these things and let's see that what we will get as the output. Path info dot directory. Let me check what is path info. Okay, so this is the path info variable where all the parse component has been stored. No problem. Path info dot directory. So we have to provide the directory name. Okay, so what is the directory where our file is there? So it is slash users slash docs. Okay, then what is the file name? Path info dot base. So what will base will do? It will provide us the base name, means the file name. Then path info dot name. So dot name function basically provide you the only name, not extension. So it will provide only file, not dot txt. Okay, and for extension we have dot ext. So dot ext will provide you the extension. So quite simple also. Let's try to execute it. Here we go, and we have to clear it, then I can start. So you can see what I am getting. Okay, okay. One thing is I have not tell you about this console, that this parse method is breaking down into components, like right? And after breaking down into components, we have to also print that. So you can see we are printing it here. This root directory is coming, this directory is coming, base name is coming, extension name is coming, and name is coming. Same thing we have again consoled. So you can see both the output are same, right? And it is quite simple. Now just a second, up to then just revise all the concept which we have covered. Then after 2 minutes we will start again. Okay. Okay, I hope you have revised all the concept. So let's move further and see. Okay, so nothing is there, which is quite important now. So without wasting our time, I'm moving to OS module. So in OS module, basically it stands for your knowing about your CPU architecture type. Okay, like the performance of your computer, that how much memory space is left there. These type of thing is there in OS module. So let's see. The OS module in Node.js provides a powerful set of utility interacting with the underlying operating system. It offers a cross-platform way to access system-related information and perform common operating tasks. Okay, what are the key features? Retrieve system information like CPU information, memory, platform, access users and network information. These things it will do. Okay. So if we get start with the OS module, then first of all, to use any built-in function of OS module, we have to make sure that we are importing that module or not. So this is how you can import it in common JS, and this is how you can import it in ES module, right? These are quite normal things. Now there is this example, and if you got this example, then the OS module is completed, because let me show that what they have done. Here you are using platform method, here you are using type method, here you are using relate, architecture, host name, free memory and total memory with the total memory method. So they have not done nothing, that all the function used over in the first program they have elaborated it. Like here architecture method and consoling the architecture of CPU, platform method then consoling the platform, type method then providing you the OS type, that which type of OS you are using. Then the release number, for release number they have already using this. So same thing they are doing, just one by one. Version, user information, if you want to do home directory, host name, the name was also there. So that they are doing. So we are just going to see this section, and everything will be covered for you regarding. You can see this home directory also used where, right? User info is also used. So don't worry about it. You will have to make sure that you can have an idea that how these things will giving you the different outputs. Whenever you are going to call these built-in function, they will directly provide you the output without any delay. Okay, so let's start. So console, so as OS module give us the system related, performance related output. So that's why we are going to use directly these functions. Console.log OS platform means what type of platform you are using. So os.platform, so it will tell us the platform name that what we are using. Then console.log OS type. OS type means are you using Linux? Are you using Ubuntu, or are you using Mac? That, so we will get our OS type, which is Windows right now. Console.log release. So this release number we will get at our screen, that what is the release number for our system. Okay, that we will get. Then console.log CPU architecture. So knowing about CPU architecture, it is of Win32, Win64, that we will get from os.architecture, ARCH function. So you have to just directly call these things to get any information. Okay. Then host name, that what is the host name. So by default, if you have not set it any host name, then you will get the laptop name over there. Okay. Then let's try to understand that what they have done over here. They are trying to calculate total memory in GB. Okay. So os.total mem is a function through which you can create like call your total memory. But the thing is, the memory come over here is in bits. So you can see that bit is basically very, okay, just a minute. So this is basically in bytes. Okay. So this total memory, OS dot total memory will provide you the answer in bytes. But you can see that if storage is very like, if storage is big, then it is difficult for us to count the number in bytes. So it is good if that will be converted to GB or MB, right? Then we can count that, or it is quite readable. So for converting a byte number, through this we are getting the output in byte, right? So to converting that byte to gigabytes, this GB, we are using these part. Now let's try to understand what is happening. This is in byte. So to convert it to kilobyte, we have to multiply by 1024. Now it is converted to kilobyte. Now from kilobyte, if I have to convert it to megabyte, then I have to again divide it by 1024. So I am dividing it by 1024 twice to convert it to megabyte. Now from megabyte, if I have to convert it to gigabyte, so for that again I am multiplying or dividing it by 1024. So you can see now the byte is converted to gigabyte. How? Because you are dividing it by, first of all, 1024, so that it can be converted to respective kilobyte, then from kilobytes to megabytes, and then again from megabytes to gigabytes. And then we are using 2 means after the point, I only want up to two decimal places. The output in up to two decimal places. So now it will provide you the total memory in GB, which is quietly readable. Okay, and out of which how many memory is free, that we can get it from here. So to got the free memory, we are again doing it. So free memory also give us the content in bytes. So converting that byte to kilobyte by dividing it by 1024, again dividing it by 1024 so that it can be converted from kilobytes to megabytes, and finally 1024 dividing again with it so that it converted to gigabytes. And 2 fixed 2 means that we want only two places up to the decimal. Okay. Then user info. Os.user info will provide you the user information like what is the username, okay, home directory, and these things of thing. So console.log current user. So what will be the current user information that we will get? So we are getting only username for it. Now console.log home directory, which is the home directory function, and you will get the home directory. So these are some built-in function. They are just directly using it and providing you the output. Let's try to understand it now while executing the code. Straightforward, nothing is there, right? If I execute it, now let's try to see what I'm getting. So os.platform. So what type of platform we are using? Win32 OS platform. Okay. The type, as I have already told you that we are using Windows, so I am getting this Windows as the type. If you are using Linux, then you will get over here in Linux, or Mac OS, then you will get Mac OS. Then a release number. So you can see this is the OS release number. We are getting it like this. Then OS architecture, I have already told you the x64, x32 based on your system. So for me, I am getting the CPU architecture as x64. Then host name. If you have not set it any host name, then you will get the laptop part thing over there. Laptop AH4, AHA2L32F. Okay, something like this. I am getting as my host name. Then memory. So 4.33 free out of 15.73 GB. Okay, this we have calculated. So you can see we are also getting the output in GB. Why? Because we have converted them from bytes to GB. Okay. Then current user. Who is the current user? Vansh is the current user. From where it is coming? From here it is coming from the user info function. Okay. Now just give them the home directory. So the home directory is C drive users bunch, and inside this home directory I have created multiple folders. Clear, everyone? That how we have covered it. OS module. Now you can see if I scroll down, they have done the same thing and just provide you the some comment so that you can read that according to you. You can get x64, you can got this ARM 64, then this platform you will get Darwin, you will get Linux, you will get Win32 based on your system requirement. Okay, these things they are telling us. So not nothing that we have to move because this is a bit complex and we don't need it while developing anything. Okay, so just for your idea, I have covered it. Now last module, which is URL module. Now a 2-minute break, and then we are going to continue with Node.js URL module. Up to then, just make sure all the basic things over there in modules part, and then we will start it. It is quite basic, and you will get all the things. I will explain you once only, and then it will be clear to you. Okay, so just 2 minutes, and then we will start. Okay, so let's start. Here comes Node.js URL module. The built-in URL module. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Okay. The URL module provides utilities for URL resolution and parsing. It can be used to split up web address into readable parts, construct URLs and different URL components. Okay. So to import it, we have to use CommonJS. Then through CommonJS, we can use require function. Otherwise, if I have to import it, I can also import it. Now let's try to execute this bit and then let's try to see that what is happening. So first of all, they have provided me a default URL in the address variable. Okay. What is this URL? That HTTP is your protocol. Localhost is your localhost 8080 is your domain. And this 8080 separately is known as port number. Default.htm is basically the path because the question mark is now there. So after the question mark, whatever is written is known as query, and including this question mark, whatever is written is known as search. I have already told you, so don't get confused. Now, what we are doing, URL.parse means parse this address. ADR stands for this. Parse this full URL. And when we are going to parse, what should happen? That it will store the main components like protocol name as HTTP, domain name as localhost 8080, path as slash default.htm, queries as year equal to 2027, 2017, and month as February, and search as including question mark up to query. Okay. So let's try to answer them based on these things. Okay. Console.log q.host. So what will be the q.host name? So host is localhost colon 8080. Okay. This is done. Console.log q.path name. Then now what is the path name? After I have told you after the port number, whatever is written up to the question mark is known as your path name. So forward slash default.htm is your path name. Q.search. Now they are asking you Q.search. So what is search? Including question mark, whatever is written is come under search part. Okay. So that's why you have to provide them the output as question mark year 2017 and month equals to February. Then Q data is a variable. What they are storing here? Q dot query. Now what is Q dot query? This is Q dot query. Whatever is written after the question mark is known as query. Right. So you are getting Q dot query. Now in Q dot now they are consoling something. What they are consoling? Console.log Q data means this data which is having all these things, and inside this data also you want the month value. So what is the month value? February. So you will get February as the output. So I hope that you have dry run it at your end also. Just pause the video if not executed it. Note down your outputs. That will boost your confidence if you are going to give correct answer for each and everything. Okay, so let's understand it one by one. So for host name, I am getting localhost 8080. So this one is correct. Okay. For path, we are getting default.htm, not HTML because L is missing over there. So that's why we are getting default.htm. Now I have told you what is search, whatever is written including question mark, or you can say question mark including query is known as search. Okay. Then q dot query, and in that also you want the month. So that's why you are getting February over there. Okay. Clear? Now here they have like explaining that what is everything in a particular URL. So href means the full URL that was passed. Okay. The protocols means the protocol schema HTTP is the protocol used over here. Then host, the full host portion like examples dot the full domain name is come under this host name. The port number, that whatever the port number you are using. After that the path name. So I have already told you that after the port number up to the search panel, whatever is there is known as path name, right? Then this search. question mark including query. So we can also read down this that the query string including the leading question mark is known as search. Now what is query? Either the query without the question mark. So you can see what they are saying, that either the search without question mark. So this is the query. So in simple word, this is known as query. And if you are including question mark in a query, then it becomes search. Quite simple. Hash, the fragment identifier including the hash. So there is also a last part in your URL that tells you that it is the ending point of a particular page. So we mention that through hash. Okay, so you don't many times going to see this, so don't worry about it. Now here is something there are two methods. One is legacy API, another is what WG URL API. The basic difference in them is how they are defining each other. Okay, so first of all, they have doing this through what WG API. Okay, just a second, just a second. Yeah. So first of all, you can see they are using what WG AP URL API. So let's try to understand it. New URL, whatever the URL it is this http example.org. Then this is the path, and after that a query string, and at last a hash is there. Okay. Now console.log my url.hostname. So what is the host name? Example.org colon 8080. Quite simple. This is easy. Now other is console.log my url.path name. So what is the path name? Slash p slash a slash t slash h. So after the 808, after the port number, whatever is there up to your question mark is known as path. So you can see they have also write down this by commenting it out that this is the output for this line. Now my url dot search parameters dot get what is query and then the query. So see, first of all, they have mentioned something like query. Now what they are doing, that you have to go to the search parameters, that these are the search parameters, and inside this you have to get me the value of query. So what is the value of query? It is string. So that will be the answer. And there they are using hash also. So hash is the last part. It is not included in string. Just a second. Okay, so now we are going to see y- using the legacy API. Now let's understand that what is this legacy API, right? So in this legacy API, basically everything is similar, just it will give you more features. Okay, like you can say that what WG is more featured URL, and here in legacy API there are few options over there. Okay. Yes, sorry for the interruption, guys. Yeah, so I was telling you that in this legacy API, which was traditional, you don't have much features over here. You can see for getting the host name, have to use this host variable, then it will provide you the host name accordingly. And if you are asking for a query, then it will provide you the whole query over there. Okay, so these are the basic differences. Now let's try to understand this example, and most of the things will get clear to you. That, see, const URL and URL search parameters, these two things you are destructuring, right, from the require URL. Means in common JS you are using common JS module, and through require you are importing it. And what things you are importing? A URL module, and then a URL search parameters function. Okay, now, what is the given URL? HTTPS examples.com. Then there is a name as Kai and age as 30. So let's break down it into the components. So this one is our protocol. This one is our path name, and this is our search. But if I have to make it to query, then I have to remove the question mark from there, right? Everything is clear. Now see what they are doing in this line. URL search parameters my URL dot search means from my URL dot search. What is my URL dot search? This is the my URL dot search part. From this you have to get only the search parameters. Okay, so you are getting only these things from it. Now what they are saying, console.log parameters.get name. So what is the name? The name is Kai. So that will be the output over here. First thing done. Then parameters.append city Satvenger. Okay, whatever the pronunciation is. Okay, so you have, that means that in the parameters part you have to append city as Satvenger. So you will get that a one line will be added over here, that name Kai and age equal to 30 and city equals to Satvenger. So through append you are appending it into your query. Okay, then delete. Through delete, what you can do, you can delete a particular query parameter. So age you want to delete, that will be deleted. And finally you are consoling them in the string format. So let's try to understand this through executing it on VS Code. Let me go over there. Let me write down the code. And after that, what we have to do, we have to execute it. So yes, here we, okay. I have to use node space index to. Yeah. Here it goes. So first of all, you can get that parameters dot get name. So what is the name? Kai. So you are getting it. Then after that, what you are doing, that you are adding city as Setvenger over there. Okay. So city is added, no console, no problem. Then delete the age. So age is deleted. Now finally you are consoling the parameters. So now the final parameter is name Kai, age is deleted, and instead of that, what is there? Instead of that, city is there. So you can see the output. So if I add a console after, suppose append Satvenger, then you can see this console.log parameters dot string. If I execute it, then you can see that Kai is coming, no problem. Name Kai, age 30, and Satvenger city is appended successfully. So from here it is appended, and right now you have not deleted the age parameter, so that's why it is before I have consoled it, so that you can get an idea that this is how it will look like. But as soon as you have deleted it, then you are consoling it, so it will not shown to you. Clear? Okay, so this is the main motive of it. Now, Node.js dot file server, two files has been created, and okay, so if I say, yeah, so this is basically the last code, and I hope we can cover it today only. So just give me 5 to 10 minutes, and then this Node.js part will be done, and then we are going to start with Express from the upcoming session. So let's understand what is happening. Summer.html, there is a HTML file. What is the code written in this HTML file? H1 heading with summer and a paragraph tag with I love the sun. Quite simple. Then there is winter.html. So what is happening in winter.html? There is a H1 heading winter, and then there is a paragraph tag I love the snow. Two files are there. Quite simple. Now let's move to the third file, which is demofiles.js. Now let's see what it is doing. Let HTTP equals to require HTTP. We are importing HTTP module, we are importing URL module, and we are importing file system module. No problem. Now let's try to understand this bit of code, and then we are good to just execute it on VS Code. First of all, we are creating a server which will listen at a particular port. No problem. Here is a callback function. It will take two parameters, request and response. Okay. Now see what is happening in this line. URL.parse means parse the requested URL. Whatever is the requested URL, you have to parse it and store it into queue. Okay. Now after that, let file name equals to dot plus q dot path name. Now understand what does it mean by these two lines. You are quite understandable that in queue you are storing all the past component, means the path name, the host name, the port number, and everything, right? And to get the file name, what you are doing, you are appending a dot and then adding the path name to it. So what happened through this is basically what you have to know. See, if you are inside a same folder and you want to go to another file in that same folder, then you need a for same operator, we basically denote it by a dot. Same folder inside a same file in a same folder, we denote it by a dot, and then the path name will keep us to the file name. Okay, so that's what they are doing. They are generating a file name through dot operator and connecting that dot operator with the path name so that it will become a file name. Like suppose dot and the path name will be like slash so index.html for right now. So what you will get dot slash index.html. Now this dot slash means that inside a same folder there is a file and it is having name index.html. So that's how you are creating it a file name. Okay. Now see fs.read file. Now you have to read the file which is file name. So whatever you have parsed in the requested URL, that file name will be readed and accordingly you will get the output for it. If the data is present, you will get the data. Otherwise, it will provide you an error. So let me just copy this code let me paste it to index.js first. Okay. Now I will create two files. One is summer.html. I will write some code inside it. Then another one is winter.html. And I will paste the code from the above. You can see here is our winter.html code. Let's move it to there. And then there is a summer.html. Now I will tell you after executing it that how everything is working. Why we are doing this, all this, what is the motto of it. So basically our main like motto is to execute those two files from our requested URL only. Okay, that I want to enter a requested URL and through that those file content will be shown to me. Let me first tell you that how it will going to execute. So node space index.js, right? It is started. I have to move to localhost 8080. No problem. Localhost 8080. Oh, wait. And I have to move to slash winter.html. Suppose winter.html is there. So are you getting it? That as soon as I have moved to this winter.html, the code written in index.js is providing me this output. Now how it is happening, let's try to understand this. This is our requested URL now. Just make sure that you can write down it somewhere. Then I will tell you the code again. See, your requested URL is there. You have extracted the path name. So what is the path name? Slash winter.html. Now to make it a file name, what you are doing, you are adding a dot operator with it. So what is it now? Dot slash winter.html. Now dot slash winter.html basically tells you that in the same folder where this index.js is there, there will be a file with the name winter.html. So now your file name is basically targeting to winter.html. And through read files function, you are reading that file and accordingly it is giving you the content. Okay. And if there will be any error, it will handle that error finding the file. Okay. This is happening. And through this also you can just go to summer.html and you will get the output for it also. Summer.html and you can see summer, I love the sun. And it is basically showing us that. Correct, everyone? So this was the last code which we have to understand, that two simple files are there and we just want to execute them through the browser part. So how we are doing it? We are just parsing it, the URL, generating the file name and just passing that file name over there. If the file name is there, then you have to print the data for me. Otherwise, no problem. So you can see we are getting the same output as them. Now let's try to do this. Drag and drop the correct property name of a URL object that contain the host name and port. So out of these four, which will contain both host name as well as the port number. Suppose localhost colon 3000. So we can see through host we can get it. So let's try to execute it. And yes, so that is a correct answer. Now these are the basic things which we have to cover in Node.js. We have seen all this part now. Now what is V8 engine? Like it is something through which you can convert your JavaScript code to the machine native code. Then we have covered about different modules. Two type of modules are there. Common JS module and ES module. Okay, the difference we have already covered. So I don't think there is any problem in it now for you. Then core module, we have covered HTTP module, file system module, path module, OS module, and URL module. So I hope that we are good to wrap the session also with it and everything is clear to you. In upcoming session, we are going to continue with Express now. So your Node.js is also done. HTML, CSS, React, JavaScript, React, and Node.js. These five things has been completed up to now. And tomorrow we are going to start with Express. So just make sure that you can also execute the code at your end so that it will enhance your practice and make your logic better, and make sure that everything will be clear to you. Whenever something will be there which is causing some doubt at your end, then just pause the video and again try to listen that what I am saying, and everything will be clear to you. Okay, so thank you so much. Now we can just wrap this call. Bye bye, we'll connect you tomorrow.